in Ruaka yesterday that killed a couple. How are Kenyans reacting to that news on social media?
Good morning, Fatia. This is very sad news coming in from Ruaka. Sad news of the couple that, the building collapsed on yesterday, when a 6-story building collapsed yesterday morning, and the building fell over onto their house, flattened it. They were asleep in their house. This is a couple, 70 years old and 62 years old, and guys are just not happy about this, especially now with all the news coming out of what had actually happened even before the building ended up collapsing. There's talks of, the building had been condemned already, and constructors had actually been told, do not continue construction on this. There had been arrests over the last month. There have been several non-compliance issues that were mentioned, and Kenyans are really putting, the National Construction Authority to task and asking them what exactly is going on here. Over time, we've seen in the last, several years since 1990, over 200 people have died, with buildings collapsing, and over 2.4 billion shillings has been lost in damaged property. Over 100 buildings have collapsed, in just this, since 1990. It looks like a long period, but it's not really a long period for 100 houses to have collapsed. So guys are just wondering what exactly is happening, and they're putting, these authorities to task to check out the kind of buildings that are happening. We've had issues of, guys are also talking about corruption and impunity of allowing such cases to continue ongoing. And one comment that really stuck out was, someone just simply said, Kenya is just a crime scene, basically. And I think that's maybe a bit too extreme on that comment, but it just shows the kind of, heart that has come out of this. And just recently as well, 2 days ago, another building collapsed in Kasarani. So there's a lot of anger and, tension around this, and guys are just calling on the government and authorities to make sure that they do something about this.
Let's talk about another story. Of course, remember the quack Dr. Mugo that his story was aired a few years ago, who was running an illegal clinic, has been found guilty. What are Kenyans saying on that?
Yes, you remember this story came up more than 5 years ago. This is Dr. James Mugo, who was, running a clinic, and he was doing several things in this clinic, where he was a general practitioner. He was a gynecologist, a surgeon, a nurse, a pharmacist, and he had been allowed to continue this business until, where he was also using this as a front to sedate women with the intention of, raping them. And he was selling fake drugs to people. He was, charged on 10 counts of those sedation with the intention to rape. Guys are happy that finally it seems like the wheels of justice are moving and something is being done about this. But also on the flip side, guys are wondering, why did it have to take so long? It's been more than 5 years. This one case has been ongoing. It should have been prosecuted earlier. This should have been wound up rather a long time ago. So there's that as well.
Right, so let's just talk about Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, who apparently is to bring trees from Malaysia to be planted in Nairobi. Tell us about that. This
is a funny story, actually. Interesting story. And, just coming off of COP, I think it would be a good idea on the one hand. He basically said that they're going to bring in trees from Malaysia that will be planted along Harambee Avenue in Nairobi. I think also part of a beautification process. Initially, when he mentioned this, is a lot of backlash that came in on this, and yesterday he also clarified, saying that the trees are not being bought from Malaysia, they are donations from that country. And now guys are wondering, fine, even if they're donations, they need some form of proof that it's a donation, and it's not just being bought. And then guys are also talking about the misuse of money. What about the transportation? Are they also transporting those trees to Kenya for free, or are they what's the catch here? Who just gives other people trees? And then others have come in to talk about misplaced priorities. We have drought and all these other things happening, cost of living. A lot has come up. Guys have gone back to remember the 2015 case. I think you remember the Governor Kidero, the Kidero grass as it was called, when the governor spent more than 40 million shillings on the beautification of Nairobi in, the process to welcome former US President Barack Obama. Guys have just gone back to, basically unearth a lot of what has happened, and let's talk about how unnecessary this is. But if the donations prove to us what money is going to be spent on transport, we want to know everything that's going on.
Just finally, Asha, before we close, Twitter was, RIP Twitter was trending. Since Elon Musk took over, there's been a lot of conversation going on Twitter. Just tell us briefly about that.
Yeah, Twitter has actually closed its office until next week. There's a go-slow going on there. There's a lot of complaints on Twitter. We have the RIP Twitter trending. Elon Musk is also trending. And these are trending with over 2 million, tweets going around for each of these. There've just been complaints. There are people who are uncomfortable, with the layoffs, with the new changes that Elon Musk is bringing, and guys are just wondering, can we have a different Twitter that just runs sort of the same but without Elon Musk? Because it seems that since he took over, there's been a lot of complications on these platforms. The workers are unhappy, the tweets are unhappy. So that's just the drama that's happening on Twitter, and there seems to be a go-slow at the main offices as well.
Right, Asha Fox, thank you so much for, of course, telling us what's trending on social media. And that's it for News Diary. My name is Fatia Mohammed Noor. Have a lovely morning.
KTN News.